Did you know that for most of human history food was simple? What do I mean? Meat, vegetables, fruit, eggs, butter, even bread. But it was made with few ingredients, and something shifted. After World War II, food production industrialised rapidly, and shelf life became a priority. So did efficiency and scalability. By the 1960s and 70s, factories were producing food designed to last longer. So the ingredients changed, took away the traditional fats like butter and tallow. And then came the industrial seed oils, became common, refined sugars increased, and additives multiplied. Packaging improved, convenience improved, and cooking time decreased. On the surface, it looked like progress. But there's an uncomfortable question to be asked. If food became more advanced, why did metabolic disease begin rising soon after? Obesity rates began climbing in the late 70s. Type 2 diabetes followed, and children were not exempt. We didn't just modernise food, we redesigned it. We're still living inside that redesign. In 1977, US dietary guidelines shifted, and fat became the target. The public message was simple: eat less fat, avoid cholesterol, choose low-fat options. Food companies adapted quickly. Products were reformulated, labels changed. Fat-free appeared everywhere. But when you remove fat from food, you remove flavour. And when flavour disappears, something replaces it. You guessed it, sugar. Refined carbohydrates increased. Additives increased. Low-fat cookies, low-fat yogurt, low-fat snacks. Marketed as healthier. During the same decades, obesity rates, they didn't fall. They rose. Type 2 diabetes continued rising. And the food environment became more processed than ever. It wasn't a conspiracy. It was a response to guidelines. An industry followed demand. But the outcome is still with us. When fat left the shelf, something else filled the space. And we never really questioned it. For most of history, cooking fats were simple. Butter, lard, tallow, even olive oil in certain regions. Then large-scale industrial oils entered the system. Corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil, sunflower oil. It's not new, but newly industrialized. Extracted at scale, refined, deodorized, bleached, stabilized. And why? They were cheaper, more shelf-stable, and easy to transport. And food manufacturers adopted them rapidly. But by the late 20th century, traditional animal fats had largely disappeared from processed food production. Frying oils changed, packaged foods changed, restaurant kitchens changed. Omega-6 intake rose significantly across Western diets. Vegetable oils become one of the most common calorie source in modern food supply. This was not marketed loudly. There were no major campaigns, happened quietly, behind labels, inside factories, across decades. And today, industrial seed oils are present in snacks, sauces, dressings, breads, ready meals, restaurant fryers. The question isn't whether they exist, it's how dramatically they replaced what came before. So sometimes change isn't loud, it's gradual. Then it becomes normal. There was another shift. Didn't happen in factories, happened in living rooms. In the 1970s, children spent hours outdoors, walking to school, playing unsupervised, climbing, running, moving. Screens existed, but they were limited. Today, childhood looks different. Average daily screen time has increased dramatically, and outdoor free play has declined. Physical education has reduced in many school systems. At the same time, food became more convenient, more calorie dense, more available. Movement decreased. Availability increased. This combination is new in human history. High energy food, low energy output. Rates of childhood obesity have risen significantly since the 1980s. Type 2 diabetes, once considered an adult condition, now appears in younger populations. And this is not about blame, it's about environment. When food changed and movement changed, the body responded, not dramatically, but gradually. And gradually became normal. In recent decades, diagnosis rates have changed. Autism spectrum diagnoses have increased significantly since the 1990s. And ADHD diagnoses have also risen steadily. Part of the increase is awareness. Screening improved. Definitions explained. Stigma reduced. More children are being evaluated, and that matters. But something else also changed during these same decades. Dietary patterns, ultra-processed food intake, omega-6 consumption increased, screen exposure, sleep duration declined. These patterns deserve attention. We cannot ignore that children today are growing up in an environment completely different from 40 years ago. More stimulation, more processed foods, less unstructured movement, less boredom. The developing brain is sensitive to environment. Researchers continue to study these connections. The goal is not blame, it's understanding. When environment changes rapidly, we should expect response. The question is not whether diagnosis rates rose, they did. The question is why. We can't rewind the last 50 years. Can't redesign the food industry. We can't rewrite guidelines. We can't remove screens from the world. But we can change environments at home. Real food still exists: eggs, meat, vegetables, fruit, full fats, dairy, simple ingredients. And cooking is not outdated. It's protective. Movement is not extreme, it's normal. Walking daily, strength training, outdoor play, unstructured time. Sleep is not optional, it's foundational. So none of this is dramatic, it's simple. And simplicity is powerful in a complicated system. This isn't about perfection. It's about reducing exposure. Less ultra-processed, less constant stimulation, more structure, more light, more real foods, and more movement. The experiment continues, but participation is optional.